If you own a RAV4 and you want to remove the lower lip for more clearance, one of the first things you would have to do is to remove the stock washer, because after delete, the lip sits here and you have an exposed section of the washer. A lot of times people say you relocate the reservoir, which you actually don't have to do. All you need to do is to downsize the reservoir. So when you order the smaller universal tank, it's gonna come with the little tank things, a tube. Essentially what you have to do is to take the sensor and the motor that's to the tube over here, you are going to have to transfer like as donor parts directly onto these, so you don't have to mess with any sort of wiring and all that stuff. The bolts here are just 10 mil. Next, you're gonna remove these clips. Most of them are pretty easy. Just pinch it and you can push it away. For these that are a little harder to reach, take a flathead, push it, and it'll come right off. After the two bolts and the cables, there is one more 10 mil over here. Right there. That's the last 10 mil you have to get. After that little bolt, the only thing holding on should be this little hook that you should just be able to push it up and remove the whole thing. Slide the filling tube out that you have slide this off. Sensor over here is just a push clip. Once you push it, you can slide it right off like that. This other side is the same thing, just a little push clip. You can see here, once you push it and pull up, it'll come right off. To get this off, you just pull up like that. You just pull it and look, you can see as you pull it, it will just come right out. Very hard to do with one hand, but yeah, there we go. And now you should have your washer free. Take off this grommet, use a flathead, very carefully pry this up. This is a sensor, so do be very careful with it. Don't do what I just did. So with a new small reservoir, what you have to do is, one, you have to pull this off as well. Two, the way they work is they come with this little bracket thing that you can mount on anywhere in your car. You can make any sort of custom bracket. I am not skilled enough, nor do I feel like making any sort of custom bracket, so I'm gonna do the good old zip tie. So, you know, I have traced a Sharpie line. If you are more disciplined than I am, or have more tools than I am, you should use a hole saw to punch the hole. I do not have a hole saw, and I don't feel like buying hole saw just for this little job, so I'm going to use knife and drill and a combination of whatever I have to make a hole, epoxy the side to fill in the gap just in case it leaks. But you know, you do whatever you want to do. Very shitty setup. I have successfully made a hole. I have dremeled the hole around it, and it is pretty much a perfect fit. A light layer of epoxy around it and seal it like that. Voila. All right, little guy has been baking under the sun for quite some time. Slight modification on the top grommet. So the grommet on the aftermarket small reservoir, even though it fits because it's not deep enough, or because it's too deep, the bottom part ends up tapering in, being squeezed in by this a little too much. But anyways, if you do this, it will not fit. I'm going to take a knife, slice off the bottom part. That should give us a little seal on the top and allows it to slide up. So I just took a scissor, very ugly, cut off the bottom part, and can't do this with one hand, or maybe I can. Well, oh, maybe. Oh yeah, look at that, squeeze. So I messed up a little bit. I apologize in advance if the video doesn't make any sense, but essentially this little cutout for the original motor is too small compared to the Toyota one. Either or, I'm gonna have to relocate this hole to here. You can also do it from here, but my plan is to put the the washer over here, and to do it on this side will just have less clearance, whereas I have a bunch of room on this side. I'm just gonna put it on this side and as low as I can. Okay, I have transferred the hole. I haven't epoxied yet, but just wanted to see the fit. Kind of see it sits lower than the sensor by just maybe a 1/4 inch, but this will go like this and will be zip tied like this. Cut a random piece of plastic from a food container. I'm just gonna epoxy this shut. Hopefully it stays. Yeah, if you have a prime, this is what you have to do. If you don't have a prime, you can use this original hole for the pump. Late yesterday, so I took it inside and decided to let the epoxy cure overnight, which is all super dried right now. And now you can just shove it in, zip tie it back, should be good to go. So because the prime pump is bigger and I have to relocate it to the side, I can't really sit this way. I have to sit it a little more side so that it sits here and tuck it more into the corner. So I decided to just zip tie the back bracket that came with the washer to that hole. Well, just one of the holes through the body frame, you know, find whatever makes you happy. Zip tie this bracket holds onto, plug everything back in. The zip tie is on. This is pretty secure, and because we reuse the top grommet, this is a very tight seal on the top actually. Quick visualization of the size differences. The height was sitting like this, and you can see how much approach clearance you're gaining. Hopefully that translates on camera. I also decided to add a zip tie around the pump, because just to avoid the pump being held by only the connection, since normally if your pump goes here, you're being cradled together. I figured a zip tie there probably wouldn't hurt. And then it's connect back all the cable, tie all the cables and stuff back so it's neat and tight. Make sure you get the blue stuff, the original. Probably overfilled by a little bit. I guess just check for leaks. The epoxy is wearing off, but we might be okay. Yeah, start the car. It will most likely give you an error code because you don't have the front sensor attached. All right, so you're gonna start the car and it will tell you front collision is off. It will tell you lane keep assist malfunction, a bunch of stuff, but stop beeping, we're fine. An important thing is before you test, you have to make sure to put the hood down, because when you use the windshield wiper fluid, the wiper would automatically kick on, at least on the higher end models. So you gotta do that first. All right, here's the moment of truth. It might take a couple squirts to get it going, but there we go. Yay, look at that. As I was zip tying the pump, which was done after the epoxy has cured, it cracked just a bit that it was dripping a tiny bit overnight. So me being me, I'm redoing this, and I'm using this, which is like a very flowable liquid silicone. So took it all out, removed the epoxy, and dripping this down. So that should seal out everything. I also took out the grommet and filled the grommet inside, so everything should be very sealed now. There we go. Yep, hopefully. All right, it is 90 degrees outside. I redo the silicone. It has been baking under the sun for hours. It is fully cured. Re-added the fluid. So far no leak. Putting a cardboard on the bottom so that I can see it a little bit easier. One of the downside of going to a smaller washer, obviously, is you have to fill it way more often. Right now I am slightly above this second line. I'm just gonna hop into the car. I am now in the car. I'm gonna do 2 full washes. I think that's probably pretty average, just 2. Stop beeping.
Recording. 2 channels started.
And I'm down to the second line. So this will last a month, give it or take, in the summer, probably even shorter. So you do have to fill it up way more often. So yeah, this is essentially how you downsize the RAV4 washer reservoir. Specifically on the Prime, just a few things: take the bumper off, remove the whole thing, transfer the sensor and the pump, drill hole, put it back, try to seal it, don't fuck it up like I do, and cable manage, voila, bumper back on, and that's it. This has been a week, a quick update. So the method that I zip tied on was able to hold it on road until I took it off road, and it didn't do well. It didn't fall off, but it was just hanging on by the zip tie over here like this. Here is what I have come up with. Just wrap 2 zip ties around it, kind of like a suspender, and then I'm just gonna loop zip tie here and then hook it onto the frame. All right, this is the suspender setup, I guess, whatever. I'm just holding it onto here and on this metal frame. Can't really see it on camera, but right there. Just be careful not to pinch any of the cables and wiring. If you have the non-prime, aka you don't have to relocate the pump, you will be able to fit this flush against this frame. I just can't do that because my pump has to be on the side. So, you know, very janky setup, but this is what it is.